There we go. All right, let's program. Let's do some code. Okay. The idea today is two things. One, work on my 3D quaternion rotation stuff, and two, work on this little app idea where I want to try understand how to build a sort of state atom with interactive code elements in a grid that I can then use to build up sort of an Excel spreadsheet type thing. That's the idea. We'll see. Hey Thrashton, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Hey, Green Coder. Vincent, how's it going? Thrashin, glad to see you're doing okay. And good to see you, Green, as well. I hope you're doing all right. How are you, Vincent? How are you doing? Are you planning on doing this year's Advent of Code? I was not, but now that you bring it up, let's see what that looks like. What are the rules for it? Let's see. Starting the stream off right away with a distraction. I love it. It's classic. You're fine. Glad to hear that. You might also do Advent of Code this year. Is it a thing that people stream? Oh, while this is going, let me do I want to be very yellow? You know what? I think I'm happy with that. That seems okay. It's streamable, but not necessary, of course. Don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. I'm just too lazy. I've never done it before. This might actually be a good thing to do. I'll have to see. I'll have to look into this a little bit later. Why is this so easy or hard? They get more difficult over time. Skill set will make each easier or harder. That makes sense. They're puzzle based. Oh, I'll have to confirm your identity. Oh, that's cool. It's like it actually ties to an account. That's neat. It's not just like challenges. You can look at day 1 from 2020. That's a good idea. They're easy on the first few days. Okay, gotcha. You do it in a... you do it in guess what language? You would do it in Rust or perhaps Scheme. I'm just messing with you. Of course you do it in Common Lisp. Usually people do it in whatever language they are learning or want to learn, probably, right? Let's have a look at one from last year. Past. Oh, I see. Ooh, this is cool. Oh. This is a cool website. I like it. There's a lambda calculus hint for this year. Green Coder will do it in Clojure, naturally. Not surprised to hear that. I'd probably do it in Clojure as well. I think I might have to give this a crack. I'll read up on it later. I won't read up on it on the stream here, but let me see what this what the problems tend to look like, sort of thing. Cache only. I love this too. Like, this site is really well designed. There's like nice glow on certain words. It's just cute. It's awesome. Nice sponsorship on the side. Just well done. I like this. Oh, this is just related to the nature of the challenge, I guess, eh? Huh. Okay, I see. So I guess this here is basically the first problem. And then you have to log in to get the actual list, presumably. And then you'll get an answer by multiplying them together, and then that is what you submit to the site or something like that. Read the first one, it's short. I see, I see. Huh, very cool. The first problem, the one I just read here. Yeah, this here. Auth with GitHub. I don't want to accidentally... You know what? This is not something I want to work on right now. I'll auth off screen and do all that stuff. Let's see, what do I got going on today? Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. That the advent of code seems very compelling. I think I want to do that. So let's see here. Some of them are algorithmic, which are the ones I like. Some are more about parsing. Yeah, that seems really fun. Let me put a little... I'm going to put a notification to myself to actually start it on the 1st. Hello? Advent of code. Day 1. Okay, good. Boy, oh boy. There we go. We're in. We will be in. Oh man. Oh, so sorry Thrashin if you've heard this before, but Green Coder, I think you haven't heard this. I got a Clojure job. I start in December. I had been applying and doing interviews and stuff like that, so just wanted to share that pretty exciting news. That's a new bit of information from my end. Super cool, yeah. It's the first, like, job I've gotten since like wanting to switch industries from like mechanical engineering and design into programming and stuff like that. So I'm quite proud of myself for being able to do that. And now of course I don't want to be, well, I've got to do the work, right? So but it's fully remote and stuff like that, so I'm pretty happy that I was able to do that. So we'll see how things go. It will probably mean my streams and videos are adjusted somewhat, but they're not eliminated. I mean, I've been pretty busy anyway, so I've kind of been a little loose with my streaming schedule and stuff like that, but I'm not too worried about it. I feel like I can get things going. Welcome to the world of remote Clojurians. Yeah. It's a good world. I'm pretty pleased that I managed that so far anyway. I'm curious what... Yeah, okay, that does print that, so that's good. So I've got... These are projects that are... Since I only have little bits of time here and there that I spend on these little side ideas, doing like Clojure in a block in like evaluating in the browser and rendering right away, like all of this. I'm only working on it from time to time, so I just get a messy hacked thing working, and then I put it away for a while, and then I come back and things have changed, or that I forget how I hacked my way around it. And so I keep coming back because I keep wanting to experiment, and it feels like I'm kind of close to making understanding it better, I guess is the right way to do it, but I don't know, I just have to keep kind of messing around with an imperfect system. But blah blah blah. What I wanted to see if I could start doing, I had this idea. It might not be fully original, but the idea is I want to build a sort of grid, like an Excel spreadsheet, where you can put inside each one just Clojure code, and then you can reference the cells with like a key with the column and column row key or something like that from the global state. And then the only cool thing is, or the only cool thing, the idea is you like flip the cell over, or the cell is split into a code and view, and it will actually render renderable things. The whole idea is I want to see if I could use it not for like traditional spreadsheet stuff so much as for building up visual elements. So like instead of this all being just a pure sequence of code, that it's a grid of objects that you can write the code and you can see the visual of it right away. Then a graph of computations, yeah, kind of like that. Computations that may or may not result in a renderable element. And the renderable elements are things that, sort of the same with how people build shaders with visual tools. Yeah, pretty much that. The difference, or a potential difference, being that any node that you're given, instead of it being a set input, you can just write any code you want. So you can have 0 inputs, 0 outputs. I don't know why you would do that, for some side effect maybe. You could have 1 input or n inputs because you can attach it to the global state. I have no idea if this is a good idea. This is just a thought I had, and I wanted to put something together enough to play around and see if I could get something cool out of it. That's the whole point. Will it work? I don't know. But that's kind of what I wanted to start with. Because I feel like that would be pretty neat. Okay. So here if you look here, what I did manage to do, although let me see what happens here. There should, if this works, yeah, it should print 4. So you can see that eval string from the simple Clojure interpreter is working. So the next thing I want to try and do is wire that up with a code mirror snippet. Let's see if there's a good example of that. Clojure script code mirror. It's probably an old question. 2016. I mean, that'll probably work, but it's a little bit frustrating. Okay, well, next journal might have a sample. This seems pretty good. I've been to this before. This is it says something about a really fast parser. Yeah, incremental parsing. Yeah. Hello? Oops. That's the wrong thing. Uh-oh. Well, let's just do it the lame way. No! I'm falling to pieces. Oh, I have to control enter. I see. There we go. That makes sense. Include it. Okay, I could use a depths. I mean, this might be exactly what I need, but I want to see it. I guess this is not featured anymore. What? Okay. What is happening right now? Oh, geez. Man, I don't want to have to think. Okay, well, let me put a little note here. I'm gonna do this the hack way and figure out better ways later on. So let's do design, build a grid like Excel. Each cell can contain constants or Clojure code. Use call row keys like this. A1 going to sleep. See you next time. Hey, well, good to see you, Vincent. Thanks for tuning in and saying hi. Have a good sleep, and I hope things are going well for you. I'll see you around. I will see you around. Okay, so column row keys like this, I guess, in the global state atom. So we've got the content string. Hey, BixCV, Bixive, I forget how to pronounce your name, but hello, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Oh, 1 second. BixCV, but I don't mind. BixCV. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Thanks for your patience, of course. I try to do everyone's name as correctly as possible. On the internet, sometimes, like, it's hard to know exactly what people wanted with how it's spelled out, but I try to do my best, so thank you for your patience there. Content. I guess it should be some string. So again, this is I'm just hacking, so it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I have to tell myself when I'm getting in the weeds with stuff like this. It does not need to be perfect. Let's oops, Clojure, there we go. There we go. Okay, all right. So A1 is blah. Oh, content result is some is the eval of the content. Suppose that makes sense. I should do it not automatically, but on key press or something like that. That might be good. Yeah, so except that I should technically do it only on a diff. So if something changes, I should calculate a diff from the state and then only eval the diff and then re-update the state and then clear the diff. But I don't want to think about that right now. Because I'm a little bit lazy with that. I just want to get some visuals in. That's really all I'm trying to do today. With the code mirror blocks, it is probably good to use next journal library to make nicer blocks with better eval, nicer blocks, and a cleaner project structure. Okay, good enough for now. All right, let's go into Alright, utils, we've got eval string. Now, let's go from there and build editor. And we'll use the radish code here to try and build something out useful that hopefully is good. Boy, oh boy. Let's, okay. Well, let's start with copying this directly. Okay, seems useful enough. Alright, so we got an editor. If I do get in column, oh, I can't, ooh. Let's imagine, oh, I need to put the map first. Let's imagine I've got some state map and it uses a get in a column row system like this. So that would have to look like A, and then I want to make another map of rows. See this, do I want it to be a map or do I want it to be like a zero indexed vector, right? So I would have to do something to this effect. No idea if this is a good idea. I kind of think it's not, but now we could call this a coordinate, like a grid coordinate or something like that, right? So it's column row 1, yeah. But zero indexed, content, high, result, nil because it's not calculated yet, or pending. Okay, so that does correctly return that, but do I really want things to be set up that way? No, I think not. I think it's actually better, even if I'm just using integers here as the coordinate component. I think it actually is a better design not to have a map, but to have, or pardon me, not to have a vector, but to actually have a map, because I think it's going to actually just be easier to construct. Like the user could, it happens in Excel all the time, you don't just sequentially fill cells, you visually fill cells. So you could have a cell, you could fill A1, and then you could fill Z26, and you only have 2 cells full, but I would have to pad a vector full of nils to get to the right spot. So what I'd rather do is just have the integer as a key into a proper map inside there. I think that's actually better. I think that's a better design. What's cool then, well, what's maybe good then is I could swap it out instead later on to, instead of integers, I could make it keys either way. So except I can't do keys like this. Or maybe I can. I guess I can. I don't really know what I'm talking about, I guess. If I do keyword like that, that's not what I meant. Ah, yes. Yeah, okay, so this seems to work, but I don't think it's, I don't want to risk doing anything weird. I'll just leave it like that. Okay, let's go with that. Alright, so before I get into evaling the state and all that all that stuff, building out an editor. What I want to do now is make some state to start and then just run a table render over that state. That way, I've got something on the screen visually. Okay, that wasn't much of a statement, but here we are. All right, let me do... Let's build the state here. Let's do def state as our atom. Let's build out some of this. Let's do... I mean, let's start like this. Let's see. That's a good row, right? That seems fine. That's good, right? I think that's great. C, D, E, F, G. C, D, E, F, G. Okay. Okay, so we've got some state atom that's just full of empty things. That's fine, because what all I want to try to do right now is render I want to use, I have a table builder that I think takes a sequence of maps and builds... I mean, let's just see what this looks like, because I don't remember. Let's do maps to table vals. This isn't gonna work the way... This isn't going to be right, but let's see what it looks like anyway. So we can build an intuition of things. Yeah, so it's actually, it's almost right, except it's inverted from the way I was thinking about it. I could also put, instead of nil here, I could put, if I put a string, it'll say nil in that one. So that is E6. And if I actually were to do something like this, P get in at state E6, so that's the coordinate. That should write nil there. If I put ASDF, that's okay, good. So we're getting the correct, what appears to be correct so far, and it's nil there, so it doesn't render at all. Things are looking so far just fine. This eval string stuff, let's get that out of here. I don't need it at the moment. I need to fix my map builder to work on, excuse me, on the single map as I've described it here. So what I actually need to happen is okay. Also, I realize it's rendering into a table, an HTML table. That might not be a good idea. It's the first thing I've got here, so I'll stick with that. But it might be better to use like Flexbox or something and divs, but that's again something future me can make it more ergonomic. For the time being, I don't mind how it looks. I think that's fine, right? It's probably okay. This might be a bad name as well, DefNVV. I'm treating them as down arrows. Maybe capital V. You know what? Let's just be fine with... No, let's get weird with it. Okay. So here, this V pulls a coordinate. So it's going to do... like that, I guess. And it's just gonna it's gonna be useful in the context of this program to reference the global state. Do I want it to be like that? I guess that's okay. Yeah, let's be okay with that as it is. Okay, so the idea here is it automatically does the get. So we've got content and result. Those are the things I need. So all I need to do here is map at state. Oops. I want at state to go through, get in, call row. So that's the coordinate. You've got that, and you pull result. So that gets the value of that cell. It could be nil, it could be sorry, let me think about this. Do I actually want to do it that way? Is that a good idea? Well, okay, let's kind of go from here at least. I want to do V, pull down. I want to pull down E6. Okay. Can I, is this valid to def up as something? No, it's not. That's a horrible thing to do. What I just did there is not a good idea. So slashes are a bad idea. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying a little too hard to make symbols here. It shouldn't really matter at this point. I mean, the next closest thing, this is silly, but is like A is like an up arrow. This is silly. Oh well. Okay, so do I ever want to do this? Do I ever want to push something into the result of it? I don't know. Let's figure something out here at least. Let's do something. Eval string. Let's do Let's assoc in at state A1 Okay, is that gonna work? No. Let's not try to do something like that. Let's do, oh, I also did I do something wrong? Okay. Let's see what's going wrong here. Could not resolve symbol state. Oh, right. Okay. That'll be because I have to put it let's see if I can get this to work. User. This is a little hard for me to read here. I'm gonna try. Okay, so these are the different namespaces that I'm kind of pulling into the SCI context running in the browser. Okay, so what I want to do here is build one that pulls state in like this. Okay, I think that's all I need. Let me just close that map properly. Oh, I did this. This is wrong here. This has to be here like that to close that. All right, let's see if state now shows up in here. It looks like it does. That's a step in the right direction anyway. Okay, so let's then where'd my state thing go? Ugh, here it is. Okay, so I want to get result. Oh, you know what? I should make this look like this, right? And then this should have like that. This won't render properly now there, but it shows up here because that is indeed what I pull with this. And then if I now try to pull instead, so if I pull A1, and then render that into another paragraph. It should say WASD. It does not. Why would that be? Huh, okay, so this isn't working the way I expected, but nevertheless, that's okay. Oh, maybe it's, I think this has to be like that. Not quite. Oh, of course. Yeah, this is what I would have expected to happen. Do I have to not do @state? Let's see. This is stuff I always forget. Let's see what happens when I just put this in like this. This is still wrong. Well, first of all, now that let's get rid of that. We're messing things up here. Association @state. Let's delete that. Why? What am I missing? What am I missing here? App, key and keys, and then value. This perplexes me a little bit. But let's, okay. Before I worry about that too much, let me instead fix up the map, the table builder. So at the very least I have something more correct to look at. And then I can get to the eval situation here. Oops, that's the wrong. Just totally eliminated the wrong thing there. There we go. Okay. Hello? Why nothing? What have I done? It's a common question I have. Okay, well, let's do this instead. We're gonna create right, so map to get the head out of this, we want to pass in the state map. So what we actually want is keys of M this is where things are actually different. We need M is the full state map, right? So the header is actually map to T head, table head of the full thing here, because you get the keys from M. Then I should probably do a sort, because I think they could get jumbled up, but maybe I don't need that, we'll see. Then you map, yeah, so you basically put them into, I don't need to conj it. I could map, I mean into is the same, let's do into. It ends up being the same here. Into th, the result from the sort, so you get the key there. But I could actually do something like this. Let's do name like that. Oh, and I probably should string it. Then you wrap it Why would you do that into TR? Oh, right. Because this returns a whole sequence. Then you put that sequence into the T row. And then that goes into T head. I think that'll work. I mean, let's find out. So the reason I'm copying and pasting is because these REPLs are actually different. So, but let's. They're not the same project, but I'm just too lazy. Let's do mapped T head of state here. T head gives me a T row. Oh, I see. Conj, I guess, does matter. Right, and then the rows, okay, are gonna be a little different here. It's actually, I actually don't want the full map to the row to exist. I actually want, it's gonna be this. Actually, by the way, I want th nil there. First call is labels. Like that, row labels. Okay. This to row thing is actually going to be a key value pair. And then what I do in this case is this whole thing has to get put into a T row, which is, oh, excuse me. Okay, so one am I doing this backwards again? I might be doing this backwards again. Is this actually inverse? Is this actually inverted from what I really want? I mean, it arguably doesn't matter if I do column or row first. I have to do the same kind of logic either way. So I'll keep going with my decision now, but maybe it's not the right decision. That's the thing I'm not sure of. Right, basically, let's... Right, so any row must begin with so it's going to be T row, and then it's going to have T D T D result of value, something like that. No, that's not true yet. actually. So the very first one is actually TDK, so the key sets the label of the row. Then per row you actually have to map the row key over the vals from the map. Boy, this is... Okay, let's take map like this. Okay, so we've got let like that. Map to rows. Yeah, so here we want to do def and private to row given some key k, some row key, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. What you need to do is for any so you have to get map get k get in the map k result over vals of m. Okay, that isn't hard. That probably shouldn't have taken me that long, but here I am. Okay, so actually all I need here is to run let's do this way. MK. Row function is partial at partial m partial into row of m. So then you just map row function gets mapped over keys of m. So that's a sequence of sequences containing either nil or the result for that row in that column position. Should be good, I think. Then all I need to do is this. You take row results. Okay, is this gonna work? I don't know. I suspect I've messed something up, but I mean, we'll do something and we'll figure it out from there, right? No reason not to. Okay, so we take the head is, I think it's gonna be fine, map to T head there. Then the rows, I want to be, I don't want to do that. I actually want to do map to rows of M, then conj that into T body, and then build the table. Let's see what goes wrong. Oh yeah. Hey, we got problems. Perfect. I mean, it's not perfect at all. It's bad, but let's start with this. Let's do that. Okay, so we've got, let's just get rid of the rows, because I think we'll test the head of it anyway. I was wrong. There's just errors. Okay, so I'm actually. Oh, okay. Well, first of all, let's put the right. Let's do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, good, good, good. Now maybe. Not quite. Okay. We're fine with that. Let's see what happens when I do map to rows at state. String that, please. Oh geez, this is hard to read. All right, so we've got only. Okay, I've done something very wrong here. Which I don't mind. Doing something wrong is the step to doing something, is a step towards doing something right. Okay, so row results. Okay, let's build something better here right away. So get in. So what I actually want to happen here is you get the vals. I want to map. I want to do it here. I want to do vals of M. Okay, map that. Map vals of M over get in K result, that should be fine. And then here I want to conj it right away. But that's gotta look like map hash conj td. This is, I just have a funny feeling that this is not the cleanest approach. But that's okay. Okay, so let's change that up. Okay, so we've got a structure that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so what I've done, right, is td nil for everything. We're nesting it incorrectly, but that I'm not surprised by because I haven't fixed this function yet. This row function is producing a sequence of td elements, which is what I want. Then, given that, what I actually, now I don't actually want to do this anymore. I actually just want this. Like that. Ah, yes. Okay, we're so close. We're one away from the correct inputs here. The only thing is, excuse me. I thought I should see something. I should see some strings rendered into here, but I don't actually end up seeing that. So there's something wrong with the fetching. Get in here. Get in K from the map. No. So vals of M. This should actually just be get. No. Get in K. K is that. So the vals of the map, okay. Vals of state, that's a map. Having a slow brain day today. So this is, I'm just kind of taking it casual, to be completely honest here. Let's just change this to get. No. Let's not change it. Let's do it the way I want it to be done. Okay. So we got column A. There's a bunch of nils. This is why I've got to do vals of K of M. Get from M, K. It's closer. I I don't know if I'm doing this right. I'm gonna head to the bathroom for a minute and I'll be right back. There we go. Okay, well, let's just keep on plugging away at this. Okay. Okay, so this K is the row key. M is the full state. So what I actually do want, if I do vals of M, that was the right thing before. Vals of M gets me a sequence of maps for which I want to get K, which is going to be 1, or whatever. Then inside that there should be a result. Then I get that value. I'm mapping the wrong keys. I want keys from let's see. Like this. So here what I actually want to do is columns is max row. Max row is calculated by map is apply max to map count over vals of M. Yes. And then you have to range inc max row. Okay, maybe, let's see, is that closer? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Whew, finally. Okay, so what I need to do here actually is concat. Yeah. Concat. Or I could conj. TD nil, like that. That should shift it. Ooh. close. Concat. Oh, except it's not concat. It should actually be... Oh, no. I'm doing this in the wrong spot here. So row results are already rows. That's fine. What I want here... Okay, here we go. Yeah, map conj that. And then this last thing I want to do to it is just a conj td nil the whole thing. Let's see if that... There we go. There we go. Except here, I want this to be K. Yes, finally. Boy, that took me too long. So we've got in A1 result WASD, and we've got in E6 ASDF. Is that correct? It looks approximately correct. Let's find out, right? We've got E6, E6, ASDF. Yeah, okay. There we go. We're getting somewhere, albeit slower than I wanted. But we're getting there. Okay. The style of this we can figure out as we go. That I'm not too worried about. Okay. Boy, oh boy. Okay, now let's add a button. Let's see if I can find a button to add. I think there must be a project that I've done recently that has a button in it, right? Okay, let's add a button. Okay. That should be okay as a button for the time being. Save results. That will be useful, but I'll save that for later, I think. What I'd like is to show the button. Yeah, like that. So let's go in here and do... Okay. What I'd like to do... Well, let's get rid of this. I don't need that anymore. So let's do here... button... add wasd. It's a silly button, but it's okay. And then it runs the function assoc in state I don't know. We'll find out if this will work. A1 WASD. Let's make sure this is nil here. Okay. Although I do wonder if it should instead be that. This should just nil, right? Yes, okay, good. So that shouldn't really matter. Okay. Oh. Okay, so something went wrong. At state. Oh. I have to do a swap, right? I can't just do... How does swap work again? Swap atom and then the function. Yeah. Okay, so let's do assoc in. Same thing. The only difference here. Okay. Swap state. There we go. All right, there we go. There we go. Let me see now. If I do this, swap state, assoc in the state. Boy, that took me too long to remember that. Wasd, but what I actually want is to put it into 2. Let's see if this will work now as well. Okay, so that didn't work. Well, it did, it just didn't. Oh, of course, this should be, for that to work immediately, that should be like this, right? Yes. Yeah, okay. Good. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Let's try. So this pull down is actually not correct anymore, because this pull down function has to be, oh, huh. Also don't know why I wrote it this way. Pull down. Ah, there it is. Oh, it was there the whole time. I wasn't paying attention. ASDF is from there. Yeah. So if I pull down A1, it doesn't, there's nothing there, so it doesn't display it, but if I add something there, it does display it. Okay, good. Whew, getting somewhere. Let's make state. Should I make a add row function? Seems like it's a good idea. Add row, okay. Should that be a no argument function? Probably. But what is adding a row? It's effectively, okay, well, let's start with the easiest possible idea here, okay? It's literally just swap state assoc. Well, first of all, let n be inc count keys at state. If I count keys state, same. I could just count state. Okay. Swap state with assoc into n, an empty map. Let's try that. But here, now let's make a new button. Add row. Well, let's just do this. Plus row. Let's also do it after. Okay, first of all, these things are experiments and thus not technically relevant. Okay, we're doing a button plus row. The function we're calling is actually gonna be add row. That should work. Ooh, love it. Oh, of course, adding rows is not like that. Adding columns is like that, kind of. Okay, so add row, this is wrong. Let's get max. Let's turn this max row into a function, maybe. Nah, let's not. Let's just do this. That's fine for now. Max row is that. Okay, so n. Yeah. M is actually at state in this case, like that. Okay, so to add a row, we're not adding any things to the top level of the state. We're actually adding n, which is inc max row, to each map. And the way to do that swap state with, oh, is this, do seek, K in keys at state. Inside here, swap state with assoc.in. And then the location is going to be K, which is the column key, assoc.in K inc max row. Okay, I think that's what I want. Let's find out. Let's clear these errors. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right. Perfect. Let's also delete row. Same idea, except it's, is there a dissoc.in? I guess it's just, you could do map and, oh, that's not quite, right, so how do I delete an entire row? Okay, so swap state with update. The key is going to be, I need you to update the column K by doing the function dissoc max row dissoc from that map max row. That just deletes that entire element completely. I think that'll be correct, but I might be wrong. We'll find out. Plus row, minus row. Let's see if that... Okay, plus works, minus also works, plus works, minus works. That's pretty cool. All right, well now let's do plus column, minus column. Okay. Okay, let's do add column. Okay, so what's the logic for adding a column? It's actually not going to be too difficult. It really should be... Well, first of all, let's actually we still want the max row count in there because we want to just stub in nil values up until that point by producing a new map with nil in such a way. So new column map is going to be zip map of the keys are going to be range 1 to inc max row. So that's 1 to the maximum row count number of rows that get added, and then you just I have to figure out the next alphanumeric key. That's the only strange thing, but I'm gonna be okay with that for the time being. Can you do, this is a crazy thought, I don't think it's right. Let's do range from A to Z. That's what I thought. Okay. Let's worry about that in a minute. Zip map range 1 inc max row is just going to be zip map that with repeat nil. Okay, so that's the new column map. And then all I have to do is swap state assoc new, well, K assoc into that new column. So let me just make K is can you sort wrong thing? You can. Now what if they're keys? You can. Okay. Clojure next letter in alphabet. Generated character sequence. Is this a valid key? It is. Well, let's just hard code one like that, and let's just do def and del call, which should actually be pretty easy. Swap state dissoc. Oh, I need let k be last of sort keys at state. Let me just check here. This is going to be a problem, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. I might end this stream after I'm done add call del call here, because I want to do other stuff today. Yeah, I think that's fair. Alright, so swap state dissoc k. I think that is basically all I need there. Let's see if I broke anything. It doesn't look like it. Okay, good. I want to call. The danger of how I've hard-coded this in now is, well, it'll only add one. It'll add Z, and it'll happily remove it, but it'll only ever add Z back, so that this will break. Oh, it's a warning. It's not adding it. Cool. Okay, I mean, it's not cool because this is obviously not functional yet, but it's not bad. Not bad as a start. I'm curious if I do sort by, the function I actually want to do is juxt first and count. Let's see if that does anything. Ooh. Right. Except here, I have to do a function. Yeah, I get it. Alright. This here has to be... taking first from... name. Hey, how's it going? The live R, the liver, can't remember. Liver, I think it was liver, right? How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. There we go. Let's see if this will do what I want it to. Sort by juxt first and count of name. Hey, that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, liver. It's been better, but not gonna complain. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that it hasn't been... I mean, not gonna complain. Yeah, I think, you know, complaining from time to time is alright, as long as it doesn't take up all of your time and mental energy. But, at the very least, I hope things get better for you in a way that you're hoping. Sorry to hear that. You're going through that things could be better. But all that aside, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in and chatting. Have you been managing any cool code projects or managing to do at least some things that you find enjoyable despite having been better? I find that is always a little bit helpful if I can do something that's like a fun hobby, or I can still feel like I'm accomplishing something in another area of my life, you know, if things aren't going perfectly. Anyway. And you know, share as much or as little as you want, right? No need to share stuff with a stranger online, right? One big feature left. You're somewhat close to finishing an important project. One big feature left. Well, that's pretty good. One big feature, that's both exciting and daunting, I would imagine, right? Depending on how big the feature is, it could be one of those. One thing I find difficult is if I can visualize one big feature that I want or need to do, and then how do you get there, right? Like, how do you split it up nicely? How do you do one little bit at a time and still feel good about the progress? It can be tricky. Yeah, you've got the back end done, front end done, and you have to write a browser extension, which is going to be huge. Oh my goodness, yeah, I've never done that before. Wow, that's something else. Is it... So I have no idea. I actually don't even know how to begin writing browser extensions. Is it just... Is it JavaScript that you can like install through a Firefox thing and or a Chrome thing? Are they different? If you do one for Firefox, is it exactly equivalent in Chrome? I'm gonna guess no, that you have to make two independent ones. Anyway, of course that's a huge feature, right? It's mostly JavaScript with a specific manifest.json. Okay. There's some similarity, hopefully, anyway. Well, I sure hope that goes well for you. You don't have any idea how to make the code workable. Well, one thing I often say in my streams is, if I know I need to do something, but I don't know how, in my head and even out loud, I just say, okay, I'm going to do the dumb thing first, right? instead of a bunch of functions and weird event listeners. Is that, sorry, I misunderstood that sentence. Is that instead of a bunch of functions, it is weird event listeners? Sorry, I misunderstood you. All right. Look at my really, really bad Excel. Yeah, let me rephrase. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just misunderstood you. Look, I can add rows and subtract rows. And I can add one column called Z. And I can remove that column. And I can add it back. Love it. I forget how to do this. Clojure sort by multiple. Okay, here's what I'm going to try to do before I go. Here's the thing, right? The reason I can only add one column is because, and it's Z, is because I did the lazy thing first. If I look at add column, the key I'm adding is hard-coded as Z, and I mean that's obviously not, that's not helpful. So what I need to do is actually define sort columns like that. So the issue is that based on what I found so far, browser extensions are usually a bunch of functions written in JavaScript that are used in JS event listeners, like windows.onload or something like that. This on its own is not difficult. It's just not that maintainable for bigger stuff. Yes, I understand. That makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, I totally get that. Well, I'll say this. I'm quite sure if you give it a bit of thinking time and a little bit of prototyping, you'll come up with a pretty good solution. It's not obvious immediately, right? But for myself, for sure what I know is the best way to solutions that work is to start with ideas that you think might work and just trying the simplest version of it and building off of it from there. Kind of like REPL driven development. As for Excel, it looks better than what I need from Excel. Well, so the idea that I'm slowly working toward is, and I think I saw on Hacker News that someone did something like this a while ago. I usually just mess around with the code, see what works, and build on top of that. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I mean, I often have a REPL running where I can literally evaluate functions as they're going, make all kinds of errors, and then slowly chip away until I have something that works. I love Clojure and REPLs for that. I mean, Clojure's not the only language with a REPL. It's a very good one with a good REPL, blah, blah, blah. Here's the idea that I'm leaning towards with this. Okay, I want to show you. So this is an example post on my GitHub site here. This is a different one with the same concept. So I've got these code blocks here that are actually evaluated in the browser. So if I run 2 times 3, it will actually show the result 6, okay? So this is not in and of itself a new concept. Plenty of people have done stuff like this. On its own, I already love it. I think it's really cool. But the idea I have is this, is that instead of having the cells just sequential like that, I want to basically take these and put them in to an Excel type grid where I could, so if I could click any, they're not clickable yet because I'm just building up one little step at a time. Imagine this, right? You click a cell and you can type anything you want in there. You could type a string and it'll evaluate the string. It'll just remain itself. You could put in a number and it'll be a number. You could put in a function and it will be a function, right? the whole idea is that each cell is its own evaluatable code block. The state stores the evaluated values. You can reference other cells and other cells as variables, as values, whatever. And the whole idea is to have, and this I don't know how I'm going to present it, but like have it, like you can click a cell and maybe it has a little zoom out card that shows the rendered result. If it's just a number or a string, it's a trivial, it's just, well, it's not trivial, but it's just a simple, it renders it into a paragraph or renders it into text, right? As we're so used to seeing. But if that element happens to be a renderable element, right? It'll actually create the SVG or whatever on the fly here. So that's the idea. Sounds dope, heavy on the browser, but dope nonetheless. Yes, and the heavy on the browser thing is the biggest weakness to this whole idea. I'm only doing it here as a proof of concept. The thing is, I'm not the most effective at optimizing Clojure code. There's stuff I need to learn. There's probably people who could give me pointers and all of that. What I kind of want to do is build out a workable prototype and then see if there are people who have advice or insight or whatever into being able to make it better, and then just slowly work on improving it. The first thoughts come to mind where renderable things on the browser, well, the very first thing that comes to mind is actually not making it a pure front end, but figuring out how to do it Clojure server side. So have it all done server side and then spit out a render to the front end or something like that. I feel as if I can get a faster app that way. But I'm just starting here. I'm just starting with the tools I've got available and working towards something that's kind of cool. Because what I would love is the idea of, imagine, okay, cell A1 just has a radius, okay? But then you want cell B1 to be the circle that is drawn via that radius, okay? So what you do is you type circle, and then as the radius you do circle, pull A1. And then you go back to A1 and you update the radius, and suddenly you see B1's render changes because it has the value linked and all of that. Pretty cool, eh? Probably, but let's break stuff before we start repairing it. Yeah, fair enough. That's exactly right. I'd get something going and then see what's up from there. The reason I want to do something like this is because, and now I'll pull it into the 3D for a second. Let me tangent on this for a moment. I'd like to show you a pretty cool... Ooh, is it ready, I wonder? Maybe I don't have it open. We'll see. Really is a cool idea. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I hope I can get something into the hands of other people who might have even better ideas to kind of hack on it further, you know? Because it's exciting to me. Let me see for just a moment if this... Ooh, I do have a REPL going. That's perfect. Okay. Right, so... Let's have a look here at SVG surface. Alright, here we go. One second. Let's find Bezier. Oh, here we go. This is a good idea. Alright, so we've got a Bezier patch. Let's do... Here we go. Tools, Cider Show, SVG surface, patch. Ooh. One second, the payoff is worth it. Alright, here we go. Let's do a segment size of 10. Okay. Here we are. Right. So this, I can render stuff into my REPL environment using temp files. So it's not like elegant or anything, but it works. Pretty cool. What's exciting to me is the idea of using the logic of rendering these things into my REPL to produce, like, imagine being able to, and this is the pipe dream part, imagine it being quick. Being able to define a bunch of 2D elements into various cells, and then getting out into some other cell an actual 3D shape, right? And it's rendered there. Maybe you could even render it with WebGL and pivot it around and stuff like that, right? Like if you were to say it's shown as renderable, let's say you click the cell and it pops out a little window off to the side here, and in there it's interactive, right? And imagine that interactive thing having some handles on it and moving the handles, and then that updating the state and then updating the cell values back in here. Like imagine imagine that. How cool would that be? Right now, all the stuff I'm showing you is pretty cool, but it's all one way, right? The thing I like about using a state atom and a cell and a grid that you can reference everything into, it's like with one another. What I like about that is it's reactive, right? It's live. You change this, it changes that, and it kind of promotes the idea of this two-way connection. You draw a thing, then you manipulate the thing, and it puts the changes back into your source. And I feel like that's a pretty cool idea, right? So I'm taking the first steps to get there. That's really the whole idea. First of all, this on its own, I already love being able to see 3D surfaces in there, in the REPL right there. It's a lot of fun. Pretty happy with that. Which, by the way, that same code base, that exact same code, it outputs to like I could actually 3D print those shapes that I make with Clojure code there. So it's already useful in a different context there. Wonder how much RAM Chrome's gonna eat up. Oh yeah, so the pipe dream I'm describing to you now, I would imagine I would build as a native app instead, or have it as like an Uber jar, like a Clojure, a Java jar file that I could run on its own server, and then just have a front end into. So the server itself could be pretty powerful, doing all the crunching, all the number crunching there, and then just some basic rendering happening out on the front end. And by basic, I mean relying on WebGL stuff to use the GPU on the user's device. So hopefully RAM doesn't skyrocket in usage, but who knows? You could use sockets for the whole communication, I suppose. Yeah, so this is the stuff that I'm personally not that, like I need to practice and learn how to do that stuff better. But those are the kinds of things that I would want to work on as I go. But before I get anywhere near that, I want to prove out this conceptually and throw it around out on the internet and Twitter and see what people have to say about it as an idea. And then I'll go from there. Okay, so the last little bit of functionality, I don't have a ton of time anymore. What I'm going to start doing is this sort columns function. And what I need to do is make a system that followed you on Twitter waiting for updates. Ooh, nice, thank you. Oh, give me a second, I have to... There we go. Right. Well, sorry. Thanks for the follow on Twitter. I appreciate that. Don't hold your breath. I work on a bunch of things here and there, and I mean, my life is kind of busy. I try to keep working on this stuff as I can, but there's no guarantees for speed. You know, sometimes things just take time. And I have to live my life, so you know what? That's just going to have to be fine. Right, so sort column. Maybe I should do call keys. Let's just do that. That's fine. Okay, so let's let keys be the keys from @state, like this. Been there, done that. No expectations, only fingers that are crossed. Perfect. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Okay, so I've got a list of keys. They're just random. They're not sorted, but they are, by design, going to be guaranteed to be A through Z, and then at that point doubled, and then after that tripled, and so on. I'm not going to worry about generating them right now. Well, maybe I am. I can do a... Maybe that's easier? I'm not sure. Defin dash next call. Given a key, what I want to do is... Well, let's do... Okay, so someone did... I don't need that. Let's see. If I do int of a character, inc that, and then I do char that. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, let's do this. Next column, let chars be name name K. So what that'll do is get me a sequence of characters. Do you have any autocomplete on Emacs? No. And the reason for that is pure laziness. It's something I should... Well, there's two things about it. It would be trivial to add if I worked directly in the source files. But what I actually have been doing, and I might be changing up this workflow, I have to think about it. But what I have been doing is working in these org mode files. And if you look here, they have this thing called tangle, and then that saves the source blocks into the correct source files. So I'm actually never editing the source files. I'm editing an org file that contains all of the source blocks. The reason I was doing this and am doing this is because I'm self-taught and am learning a lot as I go. So what I like to do is leave notes for myself here. Leave notes about ideas, better approaches, and links and stuff. This helps me think while I'm learning / hacking stuff together. There, right? So, I mean, that's whatever. I don't need that note. But it's been helpful for me. The problem is I haven't been able to find an elegant way to do Clojure LSP, language server protocol, autocomplete features inside the org file, because what they do is look up source maps and stuff like that, and they'll tell you where things are wrong in the source file, but there's no way that I've bothered to try connecting that information from the source file back into the org file location that I'm working in. So this is why I might change up my workflow. It might be worth it now for in terms of speed that I'm getting more and more comfortable with writing Clojure code. It might make more sense for me to ditch the org file approach and go into the source files directly with autocomplete and that sort of thing. But I'll have to see how things go. That's my long-winded answer. The other thing is, the slow part of my development is up here way more than it is the typing anyway, you know? Wish I could help, but I'm an avid Vim user. Yeah, so that's one reason why I haven't done it, is because it does seem like a pretty involved project that I just haven't been like overly compelled to do. The other thing is, if I'm gonna ditch the org mode stuff anyway, I've been tempted actually to switch to Vim, at least just to learn it enough to be able to use it as well, or reasonably close as well to Emacs. But that I also have to see. So, because either way, there are a few headaches ahead. Not because any one program's better or worse, just because I haven't learned everything yet. You know how that goes, I'm sure. Anyway, none of that really matters. It's all kind of tangential to trying to get these projects in workable states, you know? I do recommend it. It's a steep learning curve, I think, at first, is what you mean there. But there is no coming back, at least for me. What I might do is I want to start learning a few other programming languages a little more in depth as well. So what I might actually do is have Emacs be the place where I do Lisp type languages, and Vim might be where I do everything else. I don't know if I want to do that, but that's a thought that I've had as well. Just for like, it's an arbitrary distinction, but at least it forces me. I mean, my brain would be, okay, I'm in Vim, I'm learning, like, everything's new. It's all fair game, right? I won't be annoyed that I don't have a certain citer function when I'm working on my Clojure code. I'll be annoyed that I don't know what I'm doing, but that's a whole different thing. So that was a thought. Might not be a good idea, but I'm not stressing about it. Okay, I'm talking a lot, and that is lovely. I love talking, but it does mean I should focus on finishing up this little next column idea. If I can recommend something, then Go or TypeScript are decent languages for NeoVim. They have great LSP support and plugins to make your life easier. So I've not thought about actually learning TypeScript, but I think it would probably be a decently good career move. I have thought about doing Go, because it seems kind of nice in terms of it being a pretty simple language. Not necessarily easy to learn, but simple in terms of its constructs and its design, which I really like. Clojure has a lot of that as well, so there's some appeal there. So I've thought of those. I've thought of Go. I've not thought of actually learning TypeScript, but if it's good, it's good. Maybe I will learn it. I also want to make a video game at some point in my life. So I was thinking of maybe learning some language that I could write, like I could do in Vim. But then again, I think, well, maybe I should just use like Unity or something, which has its own built-in editors. But now I'm going totally splintering all the things I want to do, and I'm losing focus, you know? I have to do some Clojure stuff first. I have to finish out a few open source projects I've been working on. Kind of get the ball rolling on those things. And I just got to slow myself down a little bit, you know? I wish I had double the amount of time in a day to do all those things. I feel ya? Yeah. Hey, that's the way it goes. Getting stuff done is the thing. I tell you, it feels great when I get something done. I just gotta remember that it's worth it. Sometimes it's hard. Okay, so we've got the characters. I mean, basically what I want to do is, gotta go. Pretty late here. Have a great stream, man. Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for chatting. I appreciate it a lot. Have a good sleep. Hopefully things turn up for you and you're starting to feel okay. Good luck with your browser extension work. I hope that goes well for you. And hopefully I'll see you around at another stream. Have a good one. Okay. Cheers. Good night. Yeah, you too. I feel like this has to actually be recursive, but okay. Let's do the keyword, car, character. Let's not even, let's assume that we're not going to go up past double things for the time being. It's wrong, but let's start with that. Once I get this part working, I'm going to go. Okay, so I want to turn keyword car inc int of ch, turn it back into a character, turn that into a keyword. Alright, let's see if that works. Okay, so let's next call a. Didn't work. Okay, that's fine. Keyword nil. Ah, okay. String. Ah, okay. Keyword string. Let's try that. Not quite. Ah, okay. That's what's going wrong here. Name a. Huh. Okay, well. What if I do int? That doesn't work. What? Oops. Okay, that should maybe work. Let's try that. Next column A. Seriously? What am I missing here? Oh, I didn't copy paste the right thing. There we go. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. What happens if I do next of Z? Yep, that's funny. It's wrong, but it's funny. Okay. Let's not even worry about this for right now. Okay. Actually, let's let keys be that, and let's assume for the time being that, assuming it's all just A to Z, is actually pretty easy. All we need to do is actually sort K's like this. That's sort calls. So here, what I want to do is actually next call of last of sort calls of, that's maybe bad design there, but let's go with that for now. All right, let's see if that works. Oop, no it doesn't. Okay. Oh, of course. No. Let's see. Let me see. Under here, what does keys at state look like? Last sort. Oop. Ah, something's wrong with that. Well, why would that be? Huh, okay. Sort column keys. Sort column keys at state from keys at state. It's like nil or something, which is not what I want at all. I don't understand. What happens when I do string character 98 B. What happens now if I do keyword? What happens if I do string keyword? Yeah. Oops. Okay, so there's something going wrong here, of course. Now what? Let's do first map character. Really? Huh. Okay, well, I'm out of time. I'm gonna just sort this one out off stream. I'm gonna get going. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you to the people who tuned in and chatted for a while. I really appreciate that. Oop. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. I think we're okay. Oh, I moved my screen. Uh-oh. There. All right. Well, that's gonna be it from me for now. Goodbye, everyone. I should be back tomorrow, hopefully. In the meantime, I hope everyone has a good night. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.